Welcome to Bad Advice, the podcast where we explore the worst advice startup founders and operators have received or worse followed. I'm Jurģis Kalniņš from BADideas.fund. This podcast is brought to you thanks to Investment and Development Agency of Latvia as well as Investment and Tourism Agency of Riga. Today's guest is Egija Gailuma, but more on her after the very short intro. Egija is a serial entrepreneur building at the intersection of energy, mobility, and tech. She co-founded and scaled Oxdrive, one of the fastest growing car sharing brands in the Baltics, which was acquired by CarGuru in 2024. Now she's leading a new venture, ENGYcell. And having been on the Forbes 30 Under 30 list, she brings deep experience in brand building, GTM, and operational scale across hardware and software. Very happy to have you here.
Oh my gosh, sounds so cool. Thank you.
And am I correct in saying that you have always been a risk taker?
I did not expect this at all. I was thinking, what will you have there? But yes, oh my gosh, this even, I think it resembles it very well. Yes, definitely. I've always been a risk taker since I was a kiddo. Definitely. This particular thing is, in Latvian, it's called voltization. I have no idea how it's in English, but I think it's very similar, something like vaulting or something like that, I guess. But yeah, it's you kind of ride a horse, but you do acrobatics at the same time on it, so that you lift your legs up or you stand on the horse, but it's kind of like, running. Yeah.
And talking about taking risks, I want this episode to be fully focused on that because you have been quite open about one particular story. There was an incident, still back in Oxdrive. No? Can you share a little bit about the story?
Yeah, it was actually this year I shared it. After Oxdrive, we decided that, we will manufacture battery energy storage systems. Something that is, very trending these days. Something that is not being built in Latvia. Well, there are some other people who are doing that, for example, from, also EV batteries. But those people who are doing it, they are, experienced electricians. They've done similar things, yada, yada. But we decided that, we don't have any experience, but we heard it's a very
That's
good...
a good start for everything.
Exactly. It's a very good industry. And as during Oxdrive time, we were left with few EV batteries. We put them together, those first EV batteries, and kind of like it worked, cool. So we had the first battery energy storage system built from EV batteries, and it worked. So it was great, and then somehow the news spread around in the city, and we got some companies asking, hey, can you also build it for us? Because what does it do? It can, for example, decrease your energy costs. It can allow you to participate in different energy markets and earn extra money. So people, they also wanted it. So at that moment, as we got, these people interested in this product, we were like, yeah, why not? Let's do it, let's become this, manufacturing facility. At the same time, we were also building the software at the same time. We just thought, okay, we will be this, full bundle company that you get the hardware from, you have the software from, you basically you come to us and you get it all. And then, so we ordered battery cells from China. We rented a very big warehouse. So we ordered the cells. We actually had already a few people hired. And then one day we had an office on the second floor. And one day I'm sitting by the computer. We're all there. And suddenly you hear boom.
Oh my God.
And you're like, what just happened, And you run to it and you see that, one of those, storage systems caught fire. And then it was burning, and of course, at that moment you just kind of like look at it and you're like, okay, so what shall we do? Well, first thing that you do, of course, you pull out your phone, you take a photo. We of course call the firefighters. The firefighters spent like I think 12 hours with us, or 11 hours, something like that, because they have never ever actually worked with battery cells that are burning, in Latvia. So
What were you feeling? Yeah, emotionally, like were you? Oh shit.
yeah, exactly that. We thought in that moment that, okay, business is over. We are over. Because you see all that smoke coming out of this huge building. It's like, it's really big building. So we immediately, what we did, one of the co-founders, he took care of this more physical stuff, the firefighters, turning off the gas, this cabinet that they had. And I, at the same time, I called the lawyers. I called them, kind of like consulting. Okay, so what's the worst case scenario that can happen to us, right? Whether maybe the landowner, the building owner can maybe come after us and sue us or whatnot. So yeah, we were a little bit scared. I don't know if a little bit, but we were scared that that we might end up in huge losses and maybe even in lawsuits or something like that.
Who says hardware can't be fun?
Oh, definitely. Hardware is definitely more fun than the software in a way.
And this is maybe more of a question to the insurance company, but from your...
We didn't have insurance.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
So
FYI.
how did you land on whose fault was it?
Well, everyone's. It's all of our fault that we didn't think even about safety, in that sense. Because you have this feeling, right, that it's never gonna happen to you, right? It's we all do have that feeling, right? And especially because with entrepreneurs, we first of all are delusional. It's obvious. We are delusional. We always think, we can do it. We can definitely do it. And the next thing is that you are. I wouldn't say that you are confident and you think you know what you're doing, because we knew that we don't know, but there is this feeling that we can do it. We can somehow. We will figure it out. We will figure it out. You know that saying that entrepreneurship is basically jumping off a cliff and building a plane on the way down. So this is literally that case, But we got unlucky in this case, right? But now, after it has happened, time has passed. We have already paid our losses. It's we see that it actually was a good thing, because now we understand that, oh my, if we would actually have kept doing that, now we see that it's better the way it is now, that we have contracts with those manufacturers in China. We are basically like the distributor. And then we have all of our focus on software trading, infrastructure, which is way more lucrative in our case than if we would have kept all the time spending 50% of the time on actually building the storage systems.
Glass is always half full, or in your case, always full.
Yeah.
And what are sort of some other aspects how you have adapted with risk and challenges and some things that before that moment, before the incident, and now you're doing some things differently?
You would think that maybe we would become less reckless, but
Become more.
yeah, I guess you actually it's like I don't even know how to say, but basically, yeah, you grow thicker skin, and we are more prone to actually, hey, yeah, we know how to actually get out of shit.
You mentioned the word hustle, and do you generally believe that moving fast, moving quick, and building and breaking things is sort of glorified in the startup industry?
Yeah, I would say that it's over glorified in a way that we play with mental health. But I agree that we have to have speed. The one who will be the first actually to break through is still going to be the winner, right? But it's still, I think you can do it in a healthy way without destroying your mental health, your physical health. I've seen so many startup owners that that they are so happy that they're so successful, but then I look at them and I see that's how unhealthy they are, and I understand, if it means that it will take for me 2 more years, but I will still end up successful, but I will be also healthy, I'd rather take, the long journey and still keep my health. Startup founders sometimes globally, they are proud of how they have, destroyed their health. That, oh my gosh, yeah, I was feeling so sick, but I still did this and that, this. And I think that's actually, this very trendy word, trauma. that that you have to prove yourself because you need this affirmation of to feel loved, and then you say, oh my gosh, I suffered so much. So this part I think is overglorified.
Would you wish that you had maybe like an advisor that has been in the same shoes and knows the 2 steps ahead what's going to happen potentially, and someone who could flag the potential risks to you?
Yes, definitely it would have helped, but still I'm firm believer that still you learn only from your mistakes. Because when someone tells you that don't do that, it's gonna be bad, you still think that that's his experience. It's not my experience. So definitely it would have helped if someone would have told us that, hey guys, you know what? I had, similar manufacturing facility. You should think about safety, some chamber or some, I don't know, curtains around it. Most probably we would have more thought about that part, right? But if someone would have told us, that good guys, don't do this, don't build storage systems because you don't have enough money to actually build this chamber, just putting it from the different angle, that would not have worked.
And who do you trust the most when asking for advice? Is it like investors? Is it angels, friends?
Now only recently we got the mentor just because now with ENGYcell we have been accepted to one this EVOR, which is this venture backed program. So now we have a mentor as well, but I wouldn't say that any of them like give you strong advice. You should do this. They are more always like asking questions and trying together with me solve the problem, right? Because as they say, they also don't have all the answers, but they can help and just push you in some direction because they've seen similar cases, for example.
For context, can you give a brief one-liner about ENGYcell?
Yeah, so basically ENGYcell is energy management software. We call it that way. It consists of 3 parts. One part is AI algorithms that do trading, across energy frequency regulation, trading on exchange market, balance, imbalance, that demand response. The second part is infrastructure that we connect your energy assets to the TSO, which is transmission system operator. In other words, high voltage grid operator. So we have all the infrastructure, and the third part is our proprietary controller, which is a small hardware device that we can plug into any storage system in the world. Basically, brand agnostic. We don't care what brand it is. We can literally integrate with any brand. And all of this, what does it give to you as a customer? If you are a factory and you have consumption, you have self-consumption, we will decrease the energy cost for you and create you extra revenue.
Seeing that you've gone through from car sharing to car repair to energy optimization and also hardware, software, maybe it's like a good mix of everything, I think. And what's maybe a common founder mistake across all these industries?
That's a tough question. One thing that we have realized is that there is that saying, if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. And I would say that here, as it's always harder for Baltic startups to raise a lot of money, so you raise smaller amounts than, for example, you would if you would be in Silicon Valley or in Germany, whatnot. So we have less budget, and then we hire the first, could be even most important people. We hire them, but we don't have enough money to pay, or we are afraid to pay more because you're thinking about your runway. And then you get what you get if you pay smaller salaries, right? I would say that's maybe the biggest thing that we have learned and understood, that that it's nothing wrong with those people, but just that if you want really the best expert to help you, because you always want to be the dumbest in a room, right? Then you actually have to spend and pay people such that you can get the best people.
And this is a really good segue for hit me like a blank page, because I generally don't know a lot about hardware. What's like a common misconception?
I think that people definitely don't understand the amount of money that you have to put in, and the hardness of how hard it actually is to suddenly adjust. In software business, for example, we are very flexible. It's literally, the CTO just sits one night, basically fixes
custom
something.
feature.
Yes.
Here you go.
But with hardware, when you have built it and now you have to rebuild it, it takes more time than, for example, customers expect. Customers expect that you will be able to redo something, in a month. But it's like, oh, there's R&D. You have to follow safety things, and safety protocols, and then it actually takes more time than you would think it would take. So I'd say those two things that also customers always push. Oh, can't you make it cheaper? And that's this financial part, that actually to make something good, it's not cheap. Especially when you are not a huge factory that can buy everything in bulk.
And talking about misconceptions, this is another great segue. We're really good at transitions today. I'll do a quick lightning round of statements, tropes, beliefs that are held in sort of your area, your industry, and you just quickly try to figure out an example and just say whether you agree or disagree, or
Okay.
move fast and break things. On brand.
Yes, I would just add to it that think about the worst case scenarios and safety, and just do that, move fast, break things, and then just put around whatever curtain or safety chamber or whatever. Just think about the safety part as well.
It's good. I think that's really good. That, for the lack of a better word, the experience has traumatized you into safety.
Yeah.
Interesting one. You should launch before you are ready.
So this is something that I hear all the time, and on one hand I agree, but on the other it really depends on the product. Because on one hand, when we launched ENGYcell, we were not fully ready, but at the same time we could not launch without actually the product being ready, because the whole service is actually that we trade customers energy.
Mm-hmm.
And if we would launch with just this prototype or whatnot, MVP, that it is actually not trading, because in order to actually trade you have to get all the permits, licenses, you have to build the algorithms. So it's kind of like, launch before you're perfect, but I guess not, don't launch before you're ready.
Thinking holistically, all press is good press.
I would say 90% yes. For example, at Oxdrive times, when we had, sometimes those drunk guys or someone caused an accident and it got all over the news. After those news, especially this one which happened on the New Year's Eve, after that, we had the highest record of app downloads. Just because it got all over the news that, this guy crashed a Tesla. And it's kind of like you would think, and to be honest, now I can tell you. So do you remember that? It was all over the news.
I downloaded it afterwards.
So we actually did it on purpose. We gathered all the photos, everything, and we sent to media, also the videos, that there's this crash that happened, because otherwise media would not have known. We did that on purpose.
PR queen.
So yeah, we knew that it's gonna be everywhere, and it was literally in every media outlet. And we knew it's a risk, but we were like, we think that kind of, you would say this, it's a bad PR. Skyrocketed. App downloads skyrocketed.
One last one. Hardware is hard.
Yes.
So software is software is generally, would you just say, easier?
My CTO will not agree with me. But I say yes, just because it's way easier to scale. Just from that perspective. Not from the perspective of how hard it is for our CTO, the co-founder, to actually build it. That's hard. But would it be easier for this business to scale, or if we would at the same time have the manufacturing facility? Definitely for this one, for the software.
Do you see yourself as an advisor right now or in the future?
Do you mean for some startups?
For instance.
Right now, no. I still have this, feeling that, hey, I still haven't built that unicorn, right? Once I'll build a unicorn, then we can talk about it.
But someone who's 2 steps behind you and is looking up to you, how could you maybe summarize your whole journey up to this point into one good advice?
There is this very old saying that if you want to go fast, go alone. And if you want to go far, then go together. So this is something that definitely has proven in my life that team is very important. And very often you also ask me about your four co-founders, but actually I think that if I would be alone and then I would have had that fire, I definitely would not have been already now this far after it, right? But as we are the team, we are co-founders team, and we support each other, and we are able to also keep our mental health at least in some check. Because if, for example, I feel bad, I can take a day off because there are other three co-founders. So this is something that we often, I think that, hey, I don't want to share, oh, but I'll have the whole company to me. But if we look at the biggest, business people in the world, they end up actually with, small percentage of their company, but they are the richest people in the world. Because you have to, you have to share, you have to, build a team, you have to be, we also now are training ourselves that, if comes someone who says, I can bring you a lot of customers, but for example, they would want some cut or commission, then we are more open to it now, understanding that, hey, yeah, let's split, but it's actually extra. So this would be, I guess, my advice, that to partner up more, even if you don't have the co-founders right now, then work with people, work more with people, help them earn money, and then they will definitely also help you earn money, in this sense.
Very good. Thank you, Egija. By the way, who's that little girl in the corner?
This one?
Yeah.
That's my friend. She was my neighbor, and we became friends. And she was actually, a professional this horse rider. And then, she was the one who actually introduced me to this sport and showed me that. And she was like, hey, so there is this cool thing that you try to do acrobatics on the back of the horse while he's running.
Hold my beer.
Yeah, and she was like, do you want to try it? I'm like, yeah, of course, why not? So it literally, that's how it happened. She just offered if I want to try it. And I was like, yeah, of course. And she was so crazy that she didn't even think about the fact that I actually, to that point, I was not a horse rider. I didn't even know how to ride a horse. But I was like, yeah, of course, let me,
Go backwards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so, yeah.
In 5 to 10 years, next time when we have a discussion right here in the same room, we're going to have a screenshot of you in this current conversation in the frame. And you're going to be looking at yourself. Will you have even thicker skin? Will you be more risk aware? Will you be, I have framed you as a risk taker now, but will you be even a bigger risk taker, do you think?
I think, it's always like that. If you look, at the entrepreneurs, after every, some milestone, they actually take up on more and more risk. But they also, most of them usually, they also do have this kind of like cushion, that they feel also safer to take more risk, because if something happens, they actually also have, is it money or something, connections. They know that they can afford even to take bigger and bigger risks.
Thank you, Egija.
Thank you.
This was awesome. I wish you the greatest luck in your chase to get a unicorn.
Thank you.
That's gonna thicken your skin a lot. But once again, thank you so much. Thank you for everyone who has been listening. See you next time. My name is Jurģis Kalniņš. We had our guest Egija, and keep in touch.
Cheers.
Ciao. Bye.